What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another new Comic Book Day Top 10 list. Today I'm going to be ranking and reviewing all the books that I picked up for March 22nd, 2023's new Comic Book Day. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to grab Grimm from Boom Studios or The Punisher from Marvel Comics. I'm a big fan of both those series, so if you enjoyed them, let me know what you thought about them down below. But I do have 10 books to talk about today, and I'm going to be talking about those issues from Marvel Comics, Image, Boom Studios, DC, and Dark Horse. Now, as always, as I begin to talk about these books, just be aware that there's definitely going to be spoilers. Once I get a little bit more in depth with them, I put a spoiler tag down below in the corner to give you a heads up that spoiler is about to happen. If you want to see that, just skip on to the next one. And now, without further ado, everyone, let's talk some comics. All right, here we go, everyone. First up today at number 10, we've got Dark Horse's brand new one, Order and Outrage, issue number 1. This is cover A. I was extremely excited for this first issue. I'm going to be real with you guys. I mean, it's a brand new miniseries written by Jim Starlin. When you hold it in your hands for the first time, it's on this cardstock cover. The pages feel nice. This feels like an extremely high-quality issue. The artwork is great. I was very pumped for this one. But now when I was done reading it, that's a whole nother story. I almost didn't even understand what I just got done reading when I finished up with this first issue. I actually had to look up a description of it to see what this series was supposed to be about. So this is basically what the description said. So it's pretty much about the less fortunate people who are deprived by their government. They're tired of the totalitarian system. They're not getting their life needs. They're starting to rebel, and they just want changes in this system. Now, I didn't really get that from this first issue. I mean, they can definitely elaborate on that, expand on it. They've got a couple more issues to really go in on the story, but at that same rate, it is only a 4-issue miniseries, and this first one, it really did not do it for me at all. Let's talk about it more down below, and for those reasons, we've got this brand new one coming in at number 10. Next up at number 9, we've got Marvel's brand new one, Doctor Strange, issue number 1. This is cover A. To be honest with you guys, I pretty much only grabbed this one because of the Alex Ross cover. I'm a huge fan of Alex Ross, no doubt in my mind. He's my favorite cover artist. I didn't finish reading pretty much any of the other Doctor Strange stuff that recently wrapped up. Death of Doctor Strange, I didn't finish reading that series. Everything with Clea, I don't think I even started that one. And in Doctor Strange Fall Sunrise, which is his own thing, I only read the first 2 issues for that one too. So personally, not the biggest Doctor Strange fan, but brand new ongoing series, Alex Ross covers, I was willing to give it a shot. Now, before I get into the issue itself, the artwork, it's the same artist on Namor Conquered Shores. If you read that series, I really wasn't a fan of that artwork, and it's the same exact style, so it took away from the story a little bit to me, but on top of that, the story itself, I understand it's going to be a little bit slower as far as the first issue goes, but it was a little boring, and for someone who's not a huge fan of Doctor Strange to begin with, it just wasn't exactly for me. Pretty much the first half of this issue before they really jumped into the plot, and I'm not going to be spoiling that for you guys, but we really just got to see him and Clea, how they kind of deal with all of their differences. You see that she's pretty much the one that wears the pants in the relationship. She's a little bit more violent. She's trying to handle things her own way, while Doctor Strange is just, he's a little bit nicer of a guy. He wants to save them. He wants to help them out, and that's pretty much what he did. It showed him every day throughout the week. He helped out Spider-Man, Daredevil, Luke Cage as well, but that's when they really started to jump into things. We did get left on a cliffhanger, so I'm probably going to continue on with at least another issue to see where it goes, but overall, take all that for what it is. I'm just not the biggest Doctor Strange fan to begin with, but for those reasons, we've got it coming in at number 9. Up next at number 8 this week, we've got Image's brand new one, Dead Romans, issue number 1. This is cover A. This is another one that I was really excited to pick up this week, but after reading the first issue, it kind of seemed like it was going to be a little bit more of a love story instead of just a lot of violence and Romans fighting whoever, so I'm not completely sold on it just yet. I'm actually not exactly sure how I feel about this first issue. I didn't really love it, but I didn't really hate it either. Now, the artwork is the reason I'm putting it in at number 8 this week. It was phenomenal. It was top notch. I absolutely love what they did with it. On top of the artwork, the atmosphere and the world building that they did with it, all of that combined together, phenomenal visuals in this one. But what I think this first issue really lacked was the character-reader relationship. They didn't really build on any of the characters at all. We didn't get a lot of names for some of these characters, and they just kind of got thrown into the mix of everything, and that's where this first issue kind of failed in my opinion. But outside of that, it is a very interesting plot, and I'm excited to see where they go with it, so I'm definitely going to be continuing on with this one. But like I said, it is a little bit more like a love story, and that's what threw me off. I thought it was going to be a lot more violent, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be going that route at some point. I mean, it's Romans and whoever else they're going to be fighting. I want to hear your opinions on this one down below, and for those reasons, we got it coming in at number 8 this week. And up next this week, we've got coming in at number 7, this is Image's Undiscovered Country, issue number 24. This is cover B. You guys already know I'm a huge fan of Undiscovered Country. I absolutely love this series. Easily one of my favorite ongoings from Image right now. They've kept this story so fresh. All of the zones are very unique and very important to the overall plot. I mean, I'm with these characters on their journey. I want to see them get the cure to the Sky virus. But I've talked about it. This arc, no doubt, has been my least favorite arc so far. It has been completely all over the place. We didn't get a lot of info up until this final issue, and even when they started to explain things, some stuff happened to those characters, and we still didn't get a lot of answers to what's going on in this zone. So I'm not a big fan of how they wrapped it up, but I do like how they moved into the next zone, the next plot. We learned a lot about Monitorium, Levant. They started talking about how there's problems with Aurora as well. There's a lot of really good stuff going on in this series, and 24 issues deep. I mean, at some point, an arc had to be a little bit worse than some of the other ones. It just happens to be the history zone, but now we're on to the bounty zone. I'm excited to see what they do with it. Let's talk about it more down below, and for those reasons, we've got it coming in at number 7. So next up at number 6 this week, we've got Images. Torrent, issue number 2. This is cover A. So I'm pretty sure when I reviewed the first issue, I put it in at number 1 for that week's top 10 list. Now, however, with this second issue, I do have some major problems with it. Before I get into that, I really like the artwork. I think they've done a great job on that so far. The action is nonstop. It's in your face. They've done such an incredible job with all of the fighting. I really love that about this series. But, like I said, I do have some major problems with it. I think the pacing is horrible. I really do. I understand it's an action series with superheroes and our main character wants to get revenge, and everything that happened in that first issue to me made sense, and that's why I put it in at number 1. I thought she was going to just gather her thoughts, regroup, figure out her next steps, and go from there to get her son back. Almost everything that was built up in that first issue was pretty much resolved in this second one. Now, I know we get introduced to some new characters, a couple new superheroes as well, so they can go a lot of different directions, but I don't know. If they continue off that trend, I'm definitely not going to be continuing on with this series. I want some more backstory, want some more details. I don't want just complete action, just nonstop all the time. Just my opinions on it, though, and for those reasons, we've got it coming in at number 6. Here we go, everyone. We're down to the top 5 issues of the week. So coming in at number 5, we've got Dark Horse's Blue Book, issue number 2. This is cover B. When I reviewed the first issue, I'm not even sure if I put it in the top 10 list or it hit number 9 or number 10. I really wasn't a fan of it at all. I had very high expectations for it. Big fan of James Tynion. I love alien stuff. So for him to write an alien book, I was pumped. It was a little slow. They didn't really do much with it. And for, I think, the $5 price tag that they had on it, I didn't feel like I got my money's worth. However, with this second issue, same ordeal, $5, awesome cardstock cover, but they went into a lot more details. We get to see our main characters, Barney and Betty. They're basically trying to figure out what to do next. They're trying to realize what just happened to them. Did they actually get abducted by aliens? Do they contact the news, the government? Who do they talk to about this, or do they just keep it to themselves? This is a fun second issue to really get to see the characters just dealing with everything that happened to them. But as the issue progresses, we get to see that they're starting to realize that something, in fact, did happen. They did have some sort of encounter with some other being. I'm excited to see where they go with it. I'm really pumped. Like I said, I'm a little biased. I love James Tynion's work. Alien stuff, conspiracies, monsters, that's right up my alley. I love the horror books. Let me know what you think about it, and for those reasons, we got it coming in at number 5. Up next this week, we've got coming in at number 4. This is Boom Studios' brand new one, The Neighbors, issue number 1. This is the homage variant. I'm going to be real with you guys. I was a little hesitant going into this one despite being a massive horror fan. This is the same writer that did Maw, and I kind of thought Maw was a terrible series, but I did really enjoy the first issue. Same writer, I actually really enjoyed this first issue as well, but in my opinion, the artwork is what really stood out in this one. It really set the atmosphere for us readers. We got to see the characters' expressions, how they were feeling about things that were happening around them, but like a lot of horror series, they left a lot of info out, they left things a little just a mystery, and then they hit us with a massive cliffhanger towards the end. I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, because I mean, as far as this first issue goes, not a lot of stuff happened pretty much at all. We got to meet all of our main characters, we got to see kind of their personalities, we met one of the weird neighbors, and things happened from there, and that's where I'm going to leave you with that one. Want to hear your opinions on it, and for those reasons, we've got it coming in at number 4. Now we've got coming in at number 3 this week, this is Marvel's Carnage, issue number 11, this is cover A. I was definitely worried about this series, everyone. Ram V is not on this one anymore. In fact, he's pretty much not on anything that's not Detective Comics at this point. He's going to be going back to a lot of creator-owned stuff, which is awesome for him, but it sucks that he's off of Marvel and the other DC stuff that he was doing too. Alex Pac-Nadal took this one over, so like I said, I was a little hesitant. I just started finally getting into the series, like really thoroughly enjoying it. The artwork is great. The story is finally coming together, and when it finally did, we get hit with a brand new writer. But Alex did a great job with this issue, in my opinion. I'm very excited to see where he goes with this one. We moved away from Carnage and John Shade just a little bit. We got to see Cletus Cassidy and Kenneth Neely coming together for their own little tag team. Kenneth Neely reached out to Cletus Cassidy, and we get to see Cletus in his own little St. Estes world. It was so cool. We got to see them grow their relationship just a little bit, and obviously Cassidy is still batshit crazy. So it was a fun issue. I'm excited to see what Alex can do with it. If you had a little hesitation, just like I did about picking it up, thinking, Ron V's off of it, I'm not sure who this new writer is. Nah, put those worries to the side, grab this issue, and enjoy it just like I did. And for those reasons, we've got it coming in at number 3. Up next this week, we've got coming in at number 2. This is Image Comics Plush, issue number 5. This is cover A, but this is also an homage to the movie Evil Dead. I absolutely love that movie series. They did a killer job on this one. But speaking of killer jobs, this story is so much better than what I thought it was going to be. I highly recommend this one. Now, there is only one issue left, so at this point, I obviously would just wait for a trade paperback. But man, whatever expectations I had, they blew it out of the water. The character plot developments, they've done such a phenomenal job on them, but in addition to that, we're also getting a lot of backstory on these characters too that really make it into a full story, and I just did not expect that from this at all. I just expected like a little kind of cartoonish horror series based on the artwork and some of the other ones that he's done as well, but seriously, it is extremely good, and this 5th issue is really setting the tone for where the 6th and final one is going. It is going to be a wild ending. I am pumped for it. We're going to have the sheriff fighting Devin and all the different furries. I'm excited. I'm amped. Let's talk about it. And for those reasons, we've got it coming in at number 2. And here we go, everyone. This is it, my number 1 read of the week. Now, I did have to read this one digitally, but we've got coming in at number 1. This is DC's Superman issue number 2. I know, guys, the first Superman issue, I'm pretty sure, got the number 1 read of the week as well. And this one, no different. The artwork is phenomenal. The story was nonstop. It was pretty much action the entire time. It picked up right where the last one left off, but it wasn't just action. In between all that, we got to see that group of villains that were just plotting behind the scenes. They were really excited that Lex Luthor was in prison so that they could get all of their work done, trying to work around everything that was going on in the city. They're the reason that Parasite is just unleashed on Metropolis. And speaking of that, Lex Luthor's trying to help out Superman as well. And now Parasite is on the loose. He was worried that he was going to evolve, which he did, and then he did again. So much stuff is going on in this 2nd issue. I'm really loving this series so far. I'm telling you what, everybody, if you were like me, not a big DC reader, not a huge superhero reader, but you're trying to work your way, just worm into that stuff a little bit more, I think this is a great series to start on. I think it's been a lot of fun, great artwork, not too overwhelming for a new reader into Superman. Let me know what you think, and for those reasons, we absolutely have it coming in at number 1 this week. And that is a wrap on this week's top 10 list of books, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to comment down below what your top read of the week was and which ones you think I missed out on. And seriously, thank you all so much, everybody, for all of the support over the last couple of years. I love making these videos. I love just all the social interactions with you guys. That's why I moved more into live streaming. I love talking with you guys, hearing your opinions on everything, and it really does mean a lot to me. So seriously, thank you all so much again. And here's a quick preview of the live stream that I'm going to be featured on next Wednesday for the EXP. Thank you again, everybody, and have a great day.
Hey there, Dynamite fans. Come join us here at The Experience this Wednesday, March 29th at 6 p.m. Eastern, our usual time. There's going to be Marvel, Dynamite, DC, all the books you can think of, and hopefully the guys will actually stay on track instead of talking about food or something. Anyway, it's going to be great. Remember, it's the 29th. It's a Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, only on The Experience. See you then.